Hey, what's up? Scott Balkum here from Imagination Creation Films, and today we're going to be doing 6 Premiere Pro tips that'll really speed up your workflow. Let's dive right on in and get after it. So the first one we want to talk about today is having 2 timelines. One is your main timeline, the other is your selects timeline. Now, this is kind of an example of how this works, but your main timeline down here at the bottom, this is where your actual finished product will be. Your selects is so you can quickly go through your videos and trim up the pieces that you want and you really believe you're going to be putting into your main timeline. So you come up here and you say, okay, I like this one, and we're going to go here. Yep. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to use that, so I'm going to add that in. Oh, look at that. Oh, the birds just flew right through there. So let's just take that one, and we're going to add that in here. So then I'll end up with a whole bunch of clips over here in my selects, group them together, and then that way you can kind of just grab and select and pull them down and drop them into your timeline. That's number 1. Number 2, well, the little trick I was just doing in there, which will speed up chewing through really long dialogue or really long clips that there's a bunch of pieces in there that you want. It's keyboard shortcuts. I, O, and period. You select one of your sequences. So in this case, I'm going to use my selects. Then you come over here to your video that you're going to chew up. And okay, I like that right there. So I hit the I key. Cool. Sets an end point. Play through it a little bit. All right, that's good. Hit the O key. That sets my out point. That's pretty common. If you press the period key, boom. Notice it dropped it right in here to my selects. And it's lined up for the next one. Interesting. So now I want to come through here. Yep. Oh, there's those birds. They're pretty. Yep. You don't see the birds, but they're there. And we hit O for out, and then period. Boom. Drops it right next to it. Now look at all these clips I have over here. They're all these little different clips, and they're all segmented for you. Okay, so that moves on to the next one, which is delete and ripple delete. So we're going to take this clip right here. It's really long. And we're going to drag it down here. Yes, we're going to keep that. I'll get to that one in just a moment. So now we're coming through here and there's dialogue. Okay, keep your fingers on the C and the V. The C is the cut, the V is the select. So you come through here. Oh, yeah, I was a little long-winded there. So I click the C key, and that turns it to a razor tool. Now I can click right there, and it will snap to it. And then I come over here. Okay, good. I finally stopped picking my nose. Now I can click that again. So now I've got this piece here that's isolated, and you've got the V key selected, so you can select it. Now, I could just hit delete, and, well, it's gone. But then I've got to move this one over to this side, and then anything else that's behind it, I would have to move. That's a pain in the rear. Let's not do that. We're going to do Command Z real quick. Ripple delete will actually delete that segment and shift everything else down. And that's super, super helpful. Now, on a normal keyboard, ripple delete is shift delete. On a laptop, you don't have actually the delete key. You have a backspace key, and it's called delete because it's a Mac, and Macs are cool. So we select it, and we're going to use function, shift, and then delete. Boom. Moved right on over. That's kind of cool. Now I just saved myself a whole bunch of time. Let's move on to the next one. Set versus scale. This is a problem some people don't know about. Other people work around it and don't realize it, that they're affecting themselves negatively. So let's say, well, right here, this timeline is actually a 1080 timeline. If you go up sequence settings, you can see this is actually a 1920 by 1080. That's a standard 1080 timeline. This footage right here, this beautiful, beautiful wind turbine, which is also available on stock footage sold by me. If you look at it, where's the properties? There we go. And we click on that, and you notice this is actually a 6K file. Okay, well, if I take this video and drop it down on my timeline, the first thing it says is, oh my God, that's a 1080, that's a 6K. Do you want me to switch that to a 6K timeline? No, because I want to finish my project in 1080. So let's keep the existing settings. And honestly, you can click that always ask and uncheck it because it's a pain in the rear. But let's just keep the existing settings. Now it's going to come down here. Well, gee, look what happened. You can see it's actually giant. and that's no good. And if you look at the scale is at 100%. Well, you could shrink it down, but then you're having to go and shrink down every single piece, and that's kind of a pain in the rear. So let's undo that. What they have are two options. Go down here and right click on your video and you see scale to frame size and set to frame size. Now these are two different ways of accomplishing the same thing, but they act differently in the end. You need to know this ahead of time. So what we have is set to frame size and scale to frame size. So if I choose scale to frame size, what it does is it takes that video and it says, I'm going to fit it into the confines of the best fit. This is actually a 6K Dragon file, so it's not actually 16:9, so you can see there's bars at the top and bottom. No big deal. You just take that, take it to 110, whoop-de-doo. Here's the interesting thing. When you scale to frame size, you're taking that 6K file and you're basically converting it to the timeline down below, 1080. So if I go and I scale this thing back up to the way it was, which is about there, I've actually lost resolution. I'm not 6K. I'm now 2K up-resed to 5K. I have lost all the data that I had. Now, why would I want to do that? It's a good point. Let's say I've shot everything in 4K, but I'm only outputting to 2K, and I'm not going to be doing any kind of scaling. I just need to get that 4K footage into the 2K timeline and work with it easy. Scale to frame size is a great choice for this because when it scales it, it will now play much faster. It works on your timeline. It's easier on your computer because it's actually working with 2K files now as opposed to full 4K. That's not what I want to do because, well, I plan on scaling this up. So let's go down here and uncheck scale to frame size, which reverses it. And now we go to set to frame size. Looks the same. The difference here is that if you look over here, the scale is no longer at 100%. The scale is, I had to shrink it down to 31% to make it fit. Now you can scale it up and down all you want, and you're going to be full resolution. When I'm at 100%, that's the original file size. Why wouldn't I always want to do that? Well, if I am not going to be zooming in and out or scaling my images, then I'm going to be slowing my machine down unnecessarily. So there's give and takes there. Me, I'm always working in a 4K timeline. That's all I do anymore, except for these videos, which happen to be 1080, because who's going to screen capture in 4K? That's just weird. Since I'm always working in 4K, a lot of times I'm using Dragon footage in there, then I'm going to set to frame size always. There's a fast way to make that happen. Go up to your preferences, go down to media, click right there. Look right here, default media scaling. Hey, looky there. You can scale to frame size or set to frame size. Well, we're going to set to frame size. Now when I drag this video down and drop it, hey, look at that. It's actually scaled. Oh, no, it's not. It's set. See, it's at 31% resolution. Now I can just sit here and drop these in all day long. And yay, I don't have to scale them every time. I don't have to resize them. That's kind of amazing. All right, the fifth thing is, you know how you've got that really cool montage going to music and you just want all those transitions to go boom, 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 boom. But it's kind of hard to find that beat and, trying to line it up with that music. Well, here's a fast way to take care of that. Let me just drag a nice little audio file in here. Cool. We want to do it boom, 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 boom. So let's play it. And then when we get to the point where I want those montages, I'm going to hit the M key on the beat. Boom, boom. Here we go. Ready, go, M. Okay, those are going to be pretty darn close. So let's just look here. Now, there they are. Boom, 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 boom. So now when you want to line up your videos, check this out. Shift M takes you to the next one. Takes you to the next one. Ha ha ha. All right, the last one. Horizontal scrolling. This is something I don't know why in default it's not set up, but down here to the timeline under preferences, you see where it says timeline mouse scrolling. It's defaulted to vertical, which means when you scroll, it's going to go up and down on your timeline. Well, how useful is that? Here's something cool. Put your cursor down here with horizontal scrolling. Oh, now I can scroll through the timeline. Hey, that's kind of cool. Put it right on top of your timeline scrubber. And now I can expand and contract the viewable area of the timeline. Here's another quick tip. Get one of these. I know trackballs are kind of uncool, but it's got a scroll wheel, which, you know, kind of works like a scrubber. You can scrub through your videos. Really, really nice. It's fast. So that was 6 quick Premiere Pro tips that will speed up your workflow. I hope you find them super helpful and useful. This is my first tutorial, but not my last. There's going to be many others coming. I'll try to get them just a little more refined because I care. As always, thank you for watching these. If you like this video, click like and go ahead and click subscribe next to my name. If you would also click that little alert bell, it'll alert you every time I upload a new video because you really do want to know, right? Also, drop me a comment down below. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. Ask me some questions about Premiere. Ask me questions about anything. Hey, I'm an open book. I'm happy to help. Anything camera, video, editing related, you name it. Drop it down below. I'll do my best to answer it for you. So, as always, don't let your life lead your passions. Let your passions lead your life. Thanks. That one. Click subscribe right here. Yeah. Cool.